Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I'm Alexa Dat, and this show is really special because it's all about you, the fan. You get to ask our special guest your questions by doing one of two things. You get to click on the green button below to sign in or sign up, or you can tweet us your question using the hashtag Chatting Cage. Our special guest today is Rockies reliever Jake McGee, who joins the show right now. Jake, thanks so much for joining us. How's the spring treating you so far?
It's been good so far. Kind of winding it down a little bit, but, it's been great. The weather's finally warming up a little bit more in Arizona.
Give me one fun thing you did this offseason.
Went to a bachelor party in London, watched Liverpool-Everton game, and then we watched Burnley-Watford game. So kind of got best of both worlds in the soccer matches.
Yeah, it's nice to be getting a little bit more into soccer as it becomes more popular, huh?
Yeah, I've kind of followed a little more. There's a few other guys who are big soccer fans on the team, too.
Yeah, it's cool to be able to have some of those conversations where you guys kind of know amongst yourselves what you're talking about, so that's a lot of fun. We got a couple of questions for you here from Twitter on the Edward Jones Chatting Cage, and this one comes from Kirshner, who says, how encouraging was it to see the Rockies front office make such aggressive moves to bolster the bullpen this offseason?
I feel like it's huge for us to have a very strong bullpen. Kind of proved that a lot last year with me, Holland, and they've got Neshek at the All-Star break, and it made us have the last push to the playoffs last year.
Yeah, we got some fans who are dying to ask you all kinds of questions live here on the show. So we're going to welcome our first guest to the show in the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. What's your name and what's your question for Jake?
Hi, Jake. My name's Jody, and I was just wondering, what are some of the specific things that you're working on this spring?
For me, I work on my fastball command early in spring, and then I've been working on my curveball a lot more, and it's been paying off for me a lot more this spring training. I had a strikeout on it yesterday for the first pitch. For me, it's just refining my fastball and working in my curveball more.
All right, so we were talking about some of those off-season additions. Lydia on Twitter said, how does it feel to be reunited with Wade Davis again? I know you guys spent some time in Tampa together.
It's been awesome so far. We always talk about our minor league stories and the guys we played with, and going all the way back to 2004. So it's been a crazy ride, and for us to link up again and be free agents at the same time, it's been awesome.
What's the biggest difference between Wade Davis then and Wade Davis now?
I think he's still the same guy from the first day I met him back in 2004. He's always stayed the same, always even-keeled. He's always a good guy to be around and a good clubhouse guy.
Another fan question for you here on the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Thanks for joining the show. What's your name and what's your question for Jake?
Hi, Jake. My name is Ryan, and I was just curious, what's it like to be teammates with Nolan Arenado?
It's awesome to just see him play in the field like everyone else does, but see him in the back things. He works hard every day. He works harder than everyone else pretty much, and focused on his hitting and his fielding. It's just his work ethic every day is above and beyond anyone else who I've ever played with, so it's pretty neat kind of to see both sides of it.
Jake, where were you when he hit the walk-off home run to complete the cycle last year?
I was in the dugout. I didn't have a very good top half of that inning, so I was in the dugout when the grand slam happened, so kind of got me off the hook of that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Our EDJ question of the day for you, Jake. Outside of clinching a postseason spot last year, give me one fulfilling memory for you from the 2017 season.
For me to have a fully healthy year and bounce back from the year I had before in Colorado and, show I could pitch in Colorado, and then just seeing the team grow as a whole and have more like a winning culture last year, and everyone this year has been awesome and building off of it.
All right, we go to Twitter, and Kelly Meyer wants to know, how much did being healthy for 2017 kind of lead to your bounce-back year?
That was probably the biggest part. I started working out all off-season to make sure I was fully healthy going into the year, and it really proved and, showed it.
Yeah, and I'm sure Bud Black was a huge part of that, because Avery on Twitter was pointing out the fact that this team is so successful under Bud Black. How much does he contribute to that?
He's a big part of it, especially the bullpen. He talks to us and communicates with us every day, so we know if we're not going to throw that day, someone else will pick someone else up. Bud will talk to you every day and communicate really well, and he knows how to use the bullpen for everyone.
You are watching us here on the Edward Jones chatting cage as we welcome Rockies reliever Jake McGee. We're chatting with him. We got another fan for you, Jake, who wants to ask you a question. What is your name and what's your question for Jake?
Hi, Jake. My name's Andrew, and I was wondering if there were any challenges that you faced that you didn't expect when you first started pitching in Colorado.
I think my biggest challenges were just the kind of the recovery at home. You kind of have to get used to it, and then just how the pitches moved at home and on the road. And once I started to talk to more pitchers, you just raise your eyesight a little more on your fastball and your curveball, make it a little lower because the air grabs it a little more, so you have to adjust. And that way, and with the hitters, I noticed big time first day on the road, they had a very hard time, but at home, they always had an easier time adjusting.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into Adian's question, too, because Adian says, what have you said to Brian Shaw about the altitude there?
I just tell a lot of guys that during June, July, long homestands, it's just hard to recover, and you can't really do that much about it. You just kind of, have to pitch well at home and, survive at home and, pitch really well on the road, but, you're always going to give up runs at home. If you accept that, and going forward, it's going to make the whole season easier.
Yeah, Shaw spent the last 5 seasons in Cleveland, so it'll be a bit of a change, but good thing he's got you there to rely on and bounce some questions off of. We are here in the Edward Jones chatting cage talking to Jake McGee. Jake, some teams are talking about potentially bringing back the bullpen cart. Perfect timing as somebody zips by you in a cart. What are your thoughts about the bullpen cart coming back potentially?
We had talks about it the other day. If maybe in Colorado, I know Arizona and stuff's going to have it, but I don't know the details yet if we're going to be able to use it or if it's just for the home teams. If we can design our own carts might be kind of cool. But we'll see. In Denver, it might be good, save your energy a little more going to the mound.
Yeah, I like that. So if you could design your cart, what would it look like?
The other day we were talking, would maybe have like a mountains on the top of the cart and maybe have like a Jeep or a Toyota because that's what we're sponsored by and they have it in the stadium. Might be kind of cool.
You've got this all figured out, man. Just leave it to you. You can send me the blueprints over to the bullpen cart and they'll make it all up for you. Do you have any pregame rituals, by the way, as we are gathering questions here on Twitter? Carter wants to know what you do pregame to get you set for the game.
Pregame, I don't do too much. I just kind of relax a little bit pregame, and then for me, once the game gets started, that's when I'll get in the hot tub to get warmed up, and then I'll use bands to stretch my arm. I'll do like leg swings and to keep my legs loose, but I won't do that till the 3rd or 4th inning, kind of leading up to when I feel like I'm going to pitch. That way I stay warm the whole time.
Well, sounds great. Yeah, we got tons of fans pouring in with our questions here on the Edward Jones chatting cage through Twitter, and Kelly wants to know, you got a lot of good hitters there in that division. Anyone you're specifically looking forward to facing or maybe not facing this season?
I'm looking for more of a challenge against Cody Bellinger. First time I faced him last year, I threw him a curveball, and I rarely ever throw curveballs, and he hit a homer off me, so it kind of was a challenge for me. I think a challenge for him going forward, facing him a few more times after that. So.
All right, yeah, we look forward to all of that and this season coming up. Jake, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it, and good luck.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on the Edward Jones chatting cage. Big thanks to you, the fans, for submitting all of your questions. We have tons more Edward Jones chatting cages coming up this season. Your chance to jump in with your question for some of our guests, so make sure you stay tuned. I'm Alexa Dat. We'll see you then.